There's something truly magical about just turning flour, water, and salt into the healthiest bread you'll ever eat. And I'll show you just how simple it really is to do it all by yourself in the comfort of your own home. Those expensive loaves that you see in the store, you can make them for pennies on the dollar. Just takes a little bit of practice, and watch this video and hopefully it will help you. So, hi, my name is Shalene Davis. I'm here to Fit Mom's Journey. I make videos about healthy eating, but also just making stuff from scratch, because that is automatically going to make it more healthy. So, hope you enjoy this video. Got my food scale here. That's where I've been successful. Before I had the food scale, I really wasn't. So if you want cups and all of that, I can show you what it's going to look like and feel like, but I can't give you cup measurements. So there are other sourdough videos out there that can do that, but this is more about the weights. But it's really, I mean, $10 to $12 for a investment, and I use my scale all the time, so that's up to you. So I've got a bowl here. I'm going to start adding my water. So it says we're going to do 710 of water. This is just water that I feed my sourdough starter with, and the way it's different is it's been sitting out. You want that chlorine to dissipate, otherwise it can actually kill your starter. So next we're going to take 200 grams of starter. Now this recipe is for 2 loaves of bread. See how it's very bubbly? See that? It's very bubbly. And this is the starter that most people would have said was dead, okay? Okay, we're gonna get 200 grams of starter. I'm gonna say 232. Okay. Say 228. It's not got to be perfect, guys. The more starter, it's just the faster it's gonna do what it's supposed to do. But I'm not worried about that. I'm gonna go ahead and take this off. Just give this a mix real quick. Kind of just want to dissolve it in your water, and it'll be a little harder. So I use a rye starter. It makes it hardier. It's when I've been successful. When I tried to use bread flour starter, when I tried to use any other starter, I just was not successful. But rye gives it that power that it needs to rise your bread. So these are not my tips. The Bake with Jack is who I started following, and if you're a beginner baker, just an at-home baker wants to know the basics, he's an amazing person to follow. I highly recommend him. I'll link him below for you and this recipe. Okay, so I've got that. I'm gonna tear out my scale. Now we need 16 grams of salt. This is a Himalayan salt, much healthier for you. Do 200 grams of white whole wheat flour. And I use King Arthur. 200. I'm gonna do 700 grams of bread flour. So 900 is what we're trying to get to. Right at 900. We did it. We're going to set this to the side. Now, our scale, we can kind of move to the side. So a couple different tools that I really love to have. This dough whisk, absolutely love it. I'll link all my tools below for you. Sourdough is just a really good way you can get out there in your community. You can give it to a friend. You can give it for a Christmas present. You can do just feed your family and they feel more special. Any kind of bread. So I've kind of said in other videos that my family prefers regular yeasted bread over the sourdough bread, but a lot of people do not. So a lot of people love that sourdough bread, and that's like a really big, almost luxury to them. They pay good money for the loaves I'm about to make right now. So I'm showing you how to make them in your home. And if you want to try it out a couple times, maybe you can make some for your presents for your neighbors and your friends and your church community. So a dough scraper. This is a very helpful tool, okay? So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with it. Working with sourdough. Wet tools, so wet hands, wet scraper, wet tools helps you with a stickier dough. Don't think this is going to be a very sticky dough. We're going to use it together and see. So I'm just going to take my scraper, go along the edges, if you can see here. Just basically bringing it all together. At this point, we just don't want any dry flour bits, okay? I'm going to take this, I'm just going to, not kneading it by any means, we're just pushing it into itself. This is a no knead dough. We use something called a stretch and fold. And it's basically just doing a couple of things to it, folding it once every half hour to an hour. Every recipe is different. This recipe, the first one, you let it rest for 30 minutes here in just a second. And then you have a 2-hour rest, and then a fold, a 2-hour rest, and then a fold, and 1 hour, and then I'll show you what we're gonna do with it. So, if you can see, it's kind of a sticky dough, right? Kind of sticks to me. Really want you to see that this is not complicated, guys. I spent so many times in my life thinking it was so complicated. There you go. And now we're going to put our lid on it. What I like to do is the next step I'll show you. A couple little tips for you. Make sure that when you're rinsing off all your tools and your extra, your hands and all of that, make sure you have a strainer in your sink. You don't want this to go down your sink. It basically becomes cement in your pipes. Don't want that. Second of all, I have this little whiteboard, right? I write down, there's my recipe that's in, this is all in permanent markers, so this part never changes. This part down here, however, does change. And so I mix it we just mixed it at 6 p.m. or 6 a.m. So I know it's early, I'm gonna have to erase that here in a second. So we mixed it at 6 a.m. So I actually write it on here. The dry erase marker comes right off. I absolutely love these bowls for this. So we mixed it at 6 a.m., which means 30 minutes. So our first one is 6:30, and then our second, and then our third, and then our fourth, our pre, and then our final. Okay, so I'll show you what all this means, but we mixed it at 6. That means our first stretch and fold is at 30 minutes. It takes a little bit of math here, just a second. So that's 6:30, so then we got 8:30, 10:30, And then we do an hour rest, so 11:30 and 12:30, okay? So that's gonna be our process. That means at 12:30, we are gonna be done with our bread today. So yes, sourdough is an extensive process, but guys, it's worth it. And when you get into it and you feel more comfortable, don't make 2 loaves, right? They freeze very well. Some companies, and I haven't really experimented with this too much, you can maybe let me know if you're interested in something like that, but there's companies out there that actually give you a par-baked loaf. So meaning you finish baking it in the oven, right? It comes to you frozen, you finish baking it in the oven. So to me, if they can do it, I should be able to do it. So we might experiment with that sometime in the future. But right now, what I do is I fully bake it, and then you can put it in your freezer after it cools. And then I take it and put it in my oven, about 375 for about 10 minutes when I want a fresh, hot loaf of bread. It's basically just like the brand new loaf of bread that you just made, except for it was from your freezer. It didn't cost you any extra work that day. So that's one of my things I love to do. So I will see you here at 6:30. I was almost very sad, guys. I couldn't find this thing anywhere. You don't have to have this, but this is just one of the tools that makes life easier when you're doing bread. Or any kind of pastry for that matter. Remember, wet hands. Wet tools. I actually have a little spritzer I have downstairs. I've been using it for grilling, so I don't have it up here. But when we get to doing some of our other final moves, I'll go ahead and bring it up. What I like to do, and this is what Bake with Jack said to do, is to put it all out on your counter. Okay, not necessary, you can do it all in the bowl, but I just feel like you get a better feel for the dough. And you're basically just folding it on itself. And they say that that's good to do. But I like to take it and just kind of take my dough whisk, just kind of form it into a ball. Right? You're just basically trying to build some tension in your dough. See, I'm kind of cupping my hand under, just kind of sliding it across here. We're really trying to make a tight little top. And then what we're gonna do, I'm gonna place it upside down into our bowl. And that was our first stretch and pull. Okay, so now 8:30 is when our next one is. So I'm gonna go ahead and write. Put a timer on for 2 hours. And so in the beginning, as you can see, this was very labor intensive in the beginning. But now that I've got that, now I think the chocolate sourdough is actually gonna still be pretty labor intensive, but then just go with it because I think it's a really good one and I really like it. But if you don't want to put in that kind of effort, just make the regular white sourdough bread, and it's super easy because now I have a 2 hour break. So we're gonna come back to our starter. It's kind of, you can see it's just like dissolved here almost. It's almost just like a paste. That's what you want. And then I take my rye flour and I just add some in there. It's not rocket science, guys. So Bake with Jack only maintains like 50 grams of starter on any given time. So I could have measured this out and just did 25 grams of starter or water and what is it? I guess that'd be more like 75, but 25 grams of each of them and maintained it that way. But see how it's just a thicker, you know, you can even do thicker than this, you can do thinner than that. It's whatever you want. This is your starter. It's not gonna hurt anything. Like I said, very forgiving. I left it in my fridge a very long time, not fed. And if you would have seen it, you probably wouldn't have thought I can make bread today, but we are. This is the thing I use for my sourdough starter, and just goes right back in my fridge. So if you want to bake bread every day, then you can leave your starter out, but you have to feed it once a day. Sourdough to me is more of a treat. Kind of tap it down. I want to kind of clean up some of these edges. Not necessary, but it just makes the jar cleaner. So I'm actually going to write on here what today's date is. Back in my fridge, so that way I know how long it's been since I fed it. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and do our second set of stretching folds on this one. So this one we're going to go ahead and use our counter, because that's the way I know how to do it best. And my mat was slipping around, and I don't know if it's going to keep doing that or not. So I like to do, I kind of like to spread it out a little bit. But really, we're just kind of bringing it in on itself. Okay. Pull it up, flap it over. Then I take it and I kind of roll it over, and the same thing. You just use your hands, cup it under, and building that tension on top. See that? We're building that tension on top. Take our scraper, add anything that's falling out, because it's a little more sticky on here.
If you like it, consider
so this is what we want, guys.
It really helps my channel out.
One big ball of dough.
Make sourdough and you have any questions, or if you have any tips for me, I'm still not a pro by any means. I would love to hear your tips.
Back in there, and then we're good for another 2 hours with that one. So mark that off. We're good there. Like I said, wipe off your counter or whatever surface you're using each time, because if you don't, it'll become like concrete. So take it and grab it, pull it over, pull it over. If you can start to kind of see, it's getting more airy. You don't want to lose that air. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take it and flip it over, and I'm just kind of tighten it into a little ball. Because this one has so little stretching folds, I'm going to actually spin a minute and bring it into a ball here. The next one is the pre-shape, and I will see you here in a little bit. Okay guys, so I completely messed up. It's okay. It's not a big deal. It's pretty forgiving. So I was supposed to, for this last shape, separate it into 2 loaves. I'll do that now. Doesn't have to be perfect. Side. This one, we're just going to roll it. best we can. I guess I'm just kind of rolling it into itself. I'm gonna make that a little ball. A little bubble out here. Just pop that. Got a little bit of chocolate sourdough on that one. Oops. Okay. So, I just have these bowls. I get them at Target. I'm going to put some on top. Put some down in the thing. And plop it upside down. Okay? And wrap it up like a little baby. Put it in our little bag. Bake it tomorrow. Sourdough is a process, guys. Okay. I'm going to just, like I said, wrap it all up in a little ball. Supposed to do this before the last shaping, but that's okay. It'll be okay. It's pretty forgiving, guys. Same thing here. Put some flour there.
Okay, at this point, my Dutch oven is preheated for an hour.
Upside down.
I'm gonna just do a little quick spritz, and that creates steam. So you want to put that lid on the top of there really quick. You're gonna bake it in about a 450 oven. Every recipe's different.
This is where those
basically kind of where I like to
grocery
stay.
bags that you have come in handy.
I sometimes
normally
even
just do
kick
one
it
at a
down to
time, but this is the
375.
bigger bag.
With the lid off
Right up.
for about 20 minutes. So basically want it to get to 200. I hope you enjoyed this video.
See you guys
Let me know in
tomorrow.
the comments what was your favorite part. If, like I said, if you have any tips for me, I'm still, not a pro by any means, but I hope you got value out of this video, and I hope you try this. I'm going to link the Bake with Jack in the description, but I highly recommend that you follow him. So I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care. Bye.